And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, a game that I always like and I'm always willing to bring to the table is King of Tokyo or King of New York. Very different versions of the game. They started to come out with monster packs for these. I already took a look at Cthulhu, which came out earlier. Now we have King Kong, which of course with the new movies and stuff, and of course King Kong is iconic. In fact, King Kong, after Godzilla, is the reason King of Tokyo exists. These are the monsters that destroy cities, although you could argue King Kong's not a monster, blah, 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 blah. However, what does this add? Isn't it just another character? Because you can find all sorts of promo characters for King of Tokyo and King of New York. Well, yes, it adds a character. It also adds power-up cards for both games, regardless of which one you play. But it also adds a new mechanism to it, and in this case, it's buildings. Let me show you. So the first thing this adds is it adds the Empire State Building and the Tokyo Tower, and these are going to be added to whatever their board is, whether you're playing Manhattan or Tokyo. I guess you could mix them up, it doesn't really matter. So you just put them somewhere near the board, or I like to put them actually in the section where they're supposed to be. They're made up of 3 different levels. When you are in Manhattan, Tokyo, they're both played the same way, whether you're playing King of Tokyo or King of New York. In King of Tokyo, if you roll 4 ones, and you're in Manhattan, you take the lower level, which is this one, the fatter one. I have it upside down. And then if you do it again, you take the middle one. And if you do it again, you take the top one. If you're in King of New York, you're trying to roll the monster symbols. When you take the bottom level, it's going to give you a free health every turn. The middle level gives you a free health and an energy every turn. And if you take this level, you win the game. This gives monsters something else to fight over. You have to be in Manhattan or New York to take it. You can take a level away from someone else. You always have to take the bottom level first and then the middle level. So if you do it 3 times, you will win the game. The Empire State Building is much more secure. The Tokyo Tower falls over much more easily. So I actually usually end up using the Empire State Building, whether we're playing King of Tokyo or King of New York. Okay, so here we have King Kong. Now, he's a far cry looking from the other gorillas that are already in the game, but this makes 3 of them, which means you can have a gorilla smashdown, even more so if you manage to get all the different King Kongs or the different giant gorillas. But King Kong's going to feel different, mostly because of his evolutions. Other than that, he's just another guy. So they have cards for both King of New York and King of Tokyo. So this one I like a lot. Basically, when you get 0, you get 4, and you have to leave Tokyo and you keep playing, or Manhattan and keep playing. Here, when you yield, you can go all the way up to your maximum amount. So you can go in and take a lot of damage as King Kong. King Kong can go in and fight. I really like this guy. You can jump into Tokyo or Manhattan before someone else. Here you roll dice in which you can get energy and hit points. Islander Sacrifice, the 8th wonder of the world. If you roll 4 of the same thing, get a victory point, or get a victory point when you get the Statue of Liberty. Here you get an extra attack when you're in Tokyo. I really like this one. Here, when you destroy a jet, get an attack. Not as useful in King of New York, but in King of Tokyo, it's pretty handy. And then this one is a really awesome one. Basically, you can win the game if you roll 5 of the same, or 6 of the same thing. Now, notice you don't have 6 dice, so it's going to be harder to pull this off. You're going to need an extra die to pull these off, and that's where the last card comes into play. It was Beauty That Kills the Beast. When you play this card, the Beauty card comes in the game. This is a Protected Beauty or Captured Beauty. You start with this. It gives you an extra die, which can help you win the game. But if someone else ever makes you lose health, they'll steal this from you, and at that point, you can't re-roll attacks, and you can only attack the person who has the Beauty card. Very thematic, and that's what this game adds with the King Kong. So IELLO is consistently just really knocking out of the park with this game, and that's still their best game. This whole King Kong adding, first of all, yay. The other monsters were fine. I always used Kang, or I can't remember what they're called. The King was one of them. But King Kong himself, he's iconic. He's my favorite of all the monsters in movies and things like that. I've always enjoyed him. The fact that he climbs the Empire State Building is great. Speaking of which, Empire State Building, or Tokyo Tower, used in every game for me. Why not? It gives you a reason to stay in Tokyo and if there's or Manhattan, and if there's ever a reason to do that, I'm all for that. So I really like that. It's easy. Like I said, I wish the Tokyo Tower was a little, I guess like it's just a little less, it's a little more unwieldy. So I use the Empire State Building because it's easier. But I like having those in the game. It's fun, just like the cultists were at it in the Cthulhu one. I can use those in all different games. King Kong himself, throw him in the mix. He's great. He's powerful. Really, he is. If you're someone who likes to fight other people, King Kong's not extremely strong when it comes to fighting per se, but he is tough. He's going to stick around for a while. You put him down to 0. If he has that one card, he comes back. If he leaves Tokyo or Manhattan at any point, he can refill his life if he has the other card. That's huge. So he can go around and just take a beating. And then the Beauty and the Beast, that card's not going to change the game per se, but it's just very thematic. As long as he has that extra dice, which gives him an alternate way to win the game, getting 6 ones isn't easy. But because he's probably already trying to get 1s or 6 monsters, depending on which version you're playing, because he's already trying to do that, if you play with the building, when you play King Kong, you got to play with the 2 buildings. It just works out. I'm really happy with these monster packs. These are small, little, simple things that easy to add. 2 games, highly recommend it. So I actually like this one better than Cthulhu, but I've always liked King Kong better than Cthulhu, so that definitely clouds my judgment. But if you want to add just a little bit of extra stuff, not just an extra character, but new fun buildings to play with, check it out. King Kong. Dice Tower Judgment. Excellent!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.